This is ACS Voices, the Diversity Podcast from the American Chemical Society. I'm your host, Dr. Ben Fiore Walker, Manager of the Department of Diversity Programs. We are here with Mona. Mona, what is your last name?
Mankara.
And we are here at the 255th annual ACS National Meeting in New Orleans. So, Mona, tell us your story.
Well, Ben, my story, I can start all the way at the beginning, but actually, I think I will.
Start at the beginning. So first the Earth cooled, right?
Possibly there was a Big Bang, but
okay.
Anyway, so I was born in Maryland.
Okay.
When I was around 7, I was diagnosed with macular degeneration conod dystrophy.
Mm-hmm.
And that meant that I was going to be totally blind someday. And, that's when my journey began. But before then, I had always loved science. So I suppose my journey with science began before my journey of being blind. I always was curious about how things worked. I always asked why,
Yeah.
So that passion didn't go away. I didn't understand what it meant to be blind when I first was diagnosed. So I continued with that passion. I continued with my intrigue of science, even though a lot of individuals at the time told my parents that it wasn't worth educating me. It wasn't worth spending, time on my education in any way. But
because you were blind, they said that it wasn't worth you getting an education.
Yes. Because
wow.
How would I get educated? Apparently, that's the I don't know. Like, anyway, I was kind of ignorant to all of that negativity, which is great.
Yeah.
And I pursued my passion, and eventually I went through my education. I was in special education for the longest time, even though I could have done advanced classes. And halfway through high school, I figured that out and started taking advanced classes, and just I loved it. I loved actually being mentally challenged. Go figure. And then went to undergrad at Wellesley, graduate school at the University of Florida. Now, how did I become a chemist specifically? I took P-Chem, I took quantum mechanics, and I just fell in love. I was like,
really?
What is this? Yeah, I just loved the intersection. I felt like quantum is almost so sci-fi sounding that how could it be real? But it was. And
okay.
I don't know. That was really amazing to me. And I had, I'm skipping a lot of details because I don't know what to focus on. But when I was an undergrad, I started doing research actually the first summer I was at Wellesley.
Uh-huh.
And the reason why was there's a senior student who took me under her wing and was like, you should do this program, the NSF-REU. And I was like, it was the day before the application was due. And I was like, I don't know, like I can't do it, like I'm gonna get the application done. She was like, I'll help you. And she stayed up all night helping me. And I actually got that NSF-REU that summer. And every summer since then, I did research until now, which is phenomenal, and I'll always be indebted to her. And so on one hand, I had people who necessarily, were doubting, but on the other hand, amazing individuals that stood by me, pushed me, including my undergraduate advisor, my graduate advisor, and my current postdoc, who is amazing. Like, his name is Ilya Seatman, and he hired me because he told me, I see that you think differently because you are blind, and I want people who think differently to solve problems that no one else has solved.
Right.
For me to hear that was just like, this is awesome.
Yeah. That's the diversity of
Thought.
Experience that gives that diversity of thought that is the cornerstone of science, right?
Yeah. Yes.
If you're asking the same people the same questions to get the answers you think they should give you, you're not advancing.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I'm glad that someone recognized that and didn't let a disability, quote unquote, get in the way of that.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
And we need more people like that in the world.
We do.
And I hope to be one of those people.
Well, I think you're already on your way.
Thank you. Yeah, and I hope to continue with my path of research and becoming faculty and teaching the next generation to also be individuals that see the benefit of diverse thought.
Yeah.
And solve problems that no one else has solved.
Right. So what are you working on now?
So currently I'm actually working I'm giving a talk actually on Thursday, loading of solutes into a surfactant bilayer using Monte Carlo simulations.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're pretty interesting actually simulations because they're kind of new in their own way. We have not yet simulated what happens when you load enough solutes that they interact with one another. And so we present that kind of data and the methodology to do so.
Okay.
But I shifted a lot. Actually, as a graduate student, I did molecular dynamics of large proteins and drug design.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. You say drug design?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So what are your plans for the future?
I would love to do research and to teach.
Okay.
So I want to become faculty.
Yep.
So that is my goal.
It's a powerful position. It's just teaching powerful and so exciting, and when you come across a student that just has that aha moment, like, oh,
it's so awesome. It's so awesome.
That is a great thing.
And I love also like trying to figure out how can I present this information in like 20 different ways.
How can I make this accessible to everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I look forward to that day.
Okay.
I hope to do it. Like currently I don't know if there are any other blind female chemistry professors.
I'm sure there are, but I
don't know any of them.
I
don't know any. And
I would like to think that there are. Put it that way.
I would like to think that there are too, because I would love some mentoring.
Right.
But if not, then I would love to do that for someone else.
Yeah.
I would love to not be the only one.
Yeah. It's when you're blazing a trail, that not having someone to help you handle it or mentor you is a real problem. Yeah. But you always could be there to help the next generation.
And that is a big part of also my personal mission too.
Yeah.
In life, I think it's a chain, right, of mentoring and mentee.
Yeah, and I hope that someone listening to this also hears, hey, I can overcome a challenge that I have, or I can do something. I mean, we've talked to people who are faculty who are hard of hearing, and they overcoming the challenge, because sometimes people think, well, if I need to have all these ducks in a row. I have to have all these things in order to do this job. And the reality is, no. You can do this job, whatever it's teaching or research or whatever. It's your desire and your drive that's the most important.
Yes.
Not letting anything stop you from doing it, and finding a way. There's always a way to the assistive technology to overcome some physical barrier, but it's the drive to want to do it. And then there's the acceptance of people who are willing to give you that chance, which is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So
I hope people listening too.
I hope so. Now I'm going to switch gears for a second. I want you to think of what is your funniest story with chemistry?
Oh, with chemistry?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I have one.
I'm sure you do.
A month before my undergraduate thesis was due.
Yes.
I'm a computational chemist, so like the worst that can happen is you get Purell in your eye, right? But that day, let me tell you.
What happened?
I accidentally deleted my entire database a month before my thesis was due.
I said, now I think I can go back and look at the transcript. I think I distinctly said funny story. That's like a tragic story.
It's funny. I mean, it's not tragic because I ended up I still pulled it through. And I actually ended up publishing a paper from that data, but.
How to delete data and still do a paper.
Don't RM star.
What?
Ever.
Okay, now I need to know. What happened? You deleted your whole data set?
I mean, I just typed RM star by accident, or RM star space -R. So, it happens.
Yeah, it
happens.
You're
typing away in your terminal.
And so what did you do? What did you? Because I'm sure the first thing was you didn't start laughing.
I was like, oh. No, at first I was in denial, 'cause
Okay.
then I went,
that didn't just happen.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay. Because I actually reproduced a lot of it, and a lot of it was already backed up, so that's a good.
Okay,
that's
a good
part.
That's good.
Some of it was backed up. The part that wasn't, I reproduced it much faster because this is the second time around.
Okay.
And that was it, and I finished my.
So the first thing was just a learning experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now I have it part of the my scripting, so that if I ever type that command,
Yes.
it asks me.
Yes.
Do you want to delete?
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah. And most
No, I'm
people,
not sure.
because that scripting is in a lot of things. Are you sure you want to do X, Y, Z? Are you sure?
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, I'm tired of it. It just.
No,
But
it's helpful.
it's only when I've had that. You're like, are you sure? And you think about it, like, well, no, I'm not sure because now I don't want to do that. That's a completely bad command.
Yeah.
So okay, so that's and you overcame it. So, but now you look back at it and you can look at that and say it's a funny experience. I still it would still make me break out in cold sweats.
No, I'm laughing at my kind of, I don't know if you want to call it stupidity, but
Yeah.
but
Well,
live and learn.
Live and learn.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what would be one, if you could give one bit of advice to someone coming up, maybe just starting looking at chemistry as a discipline that they want to pursue, or a career. Maybe they're already in it and they're in graduate school, or thinking. What bit of advice would you give them?
Well, I would give this advice to just anyone.
Okay.
But if you have a passion, and even if the obstacles seem huge, follow your passion.
Yeah.
What is the point of life then? What is the point of life if you can't follow what you really want to do? So if chemistry is your passion, do it. We only get one life.
That's right. Well, that is awesome. I want to thank you very much. Thank you for coming in. Yeah.
Thank you for having me on this podcast.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you want more funny stories, I have a blog of short funny stories that I write.
All right, you
banana-days.tumblr.com.
What is it? You got to give the contact information so people can.
It's banana-days.tumblr.com.
Okay.
And yeah.
It's free advertising right here.
Well, can I advertise my knitting too?
You've got knitting? Yes.
I knit. I do improv, but anyway.
So, no, okay, right now, at the end of the interview, we find out that you are a knitter and you do improv.
Oh, and I did martial arts, and I want to get back into it. I just haven't had a chance in the past year or so.
Okay, competitive martial arts or?
No.
Just fun?
Self-defense.
Self-defense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yep. You have been listening to ACS Voices, the Diversity Podcast, produced by the American Chemical Society and 1016 Studios in Washington, D.C.